Welcome back. You're watching Hard Copy coming to you from our studios in Abuja. We've been speaking with Mercy Abang, a Berlin-based journalist and an entrepreneur. And we still have with us Dr. Dipo Awojide, a senior lecturer at the Nottingham Business School. And we're looking at how Nigerians abroad are perceiving the situation back home. Well, the last time I had you on the show, I think was some 2 years ago or so, we were talking about unemployment, which was a roaring monster waiting to be addressed. And you had some very practical tips to Nigerian young people, most especially. I'm wondering now, looking at what is currently going on, looking at how pressing the security situation is right now, what would you first of all be saying to young people who are still looking to fulfill their dreams without leaving this country? Would you still say to them that it's worthwhile to stay here?
Thank you very much, Mark. But I think it's a very tricky question to answer because not everybody is going to relocate abroad. Not every young person, who aspires to leave Nigeria and relocate to the US, UK, or Canada would actually get, that opportunity. So, we just have to continually advocate, for good governance. We have to continually advocate, for a better country, irrespective of where we are, either based abroad or based in Nigeria. So these kidnaps, for example, as I noted earlier, it doesn't make any sense. It's an attack on our schools. It's an attack on our educational institutions. It's an attack on the entire country. And, the bigger picture is that it is going to have a negative impact on the amount of foreign direct investment that Nigeria can actually attract. It is going to have a negative impact on trade investment. It's going to have a negative impact on, job creation. So, irrespective of where we are, young people, either in the country or outside the country, we have to continually demand for action, from the government. And this includes, the federal government and the state government. Because if these sort of kidnaps continue, schools are not safe. A lot more younger people are not in education because their parents are scared. Companies are not investing, both local and international companies, they are scared of investing. Where does that lead us to?
Very depressing picture indeed. And I'm trying my best not to depress viewers even further than what the news already presents. But, looking at what we currently have, do you see a way out? Only recently, late last year, towards the end of the year, we saw NSAS protests. We saw some activism on the parts of young people. You were also at the forefront of that protest in the UK where you reside. Do you see us banding together as young people, or maybe I should put that more directly, do you see young people coming together to demand what it is that they ought to demand of their country and for their country?
Yeah, earlier today, I've been on Twitter and on Clubhouse, listening to conversations and reading tweets. And, majority of young people, irrespective of their tribal affiliations or religious affiliations, we have all spoken in one voice. People are calling on the government to act. All our friends and, folks in APC and PDP, everybody is tired. Why? Because these bandits, these terrorists, they don't care what political party you belong to, or, what God you pray to, or, whatever. They don't care. And it is, I'm very, very impressed that, and this doesn't happen, too frequently, that young people actually come together, speaking with one voice and making a demand of the government. So young people are calling on the federal government led by President Muhammadu Buhari. They are calling on state government to act. No parent actually deserves, having their kids in bushes and in forests for days and sometimes for weeks. The kids who were kidnapped from Niger State last week have not been released. Today, over 300 girls have now been kidnapped in another school in Zamfara State. Again, it doesn't make any sense, and we hope that the government will act immediately.
Well, Dipo, the divisions are there anyway. You are online. You maintain a very strong online presence. You have a huge following as well. You cannot deny the fact that, yes, in some quarters, young people have come together to, demand for good governance and are united on what their call is. But the divisions are there, and it would seem that the strife seems to be getting deeper. How do you think that as young people, or maybe not as young people, but how do you think that we can address those divisions, especially for the unity of the country?
So, Mark, where even in heaven, the devil revolted against God, and there's always going to be division. Can it be managed? Yes. People are always going to have differences. Some are going to join the APC, some are going to join the PDP, and some are going to be apolitical. Some are, just going to be, somewhere in the middle, voting for whoever they think the best candidate or the best party, is in any election cycle. But these divisions can actually be managed, and they can actually be reduced. And it starts from the top. If we have political leaders who don't, practice full-blown nepotism, if there's no favoritism, if you treat, bandits from one part of the country, in a less harsh way than you treat, separatists from another part of the country, then you're always going to have division. So if the government does what is right, if there's less favoritism, less nepotism, and you treat everybody equally, irrespective of their tribe and their language or where they come from the part of the country, the division is going to reduce.
But amongst ourselves, amongst the people themselves, is there anything more that they can do apart from whatever government is going to do?
Yeah, for young people, for those of us who are not, fully into political, as political members or into politics in Nigeria, we continue to, try to be as objective as possible on every issue. People would always have their biases, and that's entirely fine. With young people, we continually encourage people, to say the truth and be objective, and that's all we can do. But I do believe strongly that what is actually causing the division amongst young people, and why a lot more people are not listening, or why a lot more people, continue to fan, basically continue to, engage in ethnic comments and ethnic divisive comments, is because they see what the government is doing. They see what our leaders are doing, with less favoritism, with less nepotism, with the government actually acting, in an objective manner and fashion. Whenever there is a clash, perhaps an ethnic clash, we are going to see less division amongst young people.
I'm wondering whether you're as optimistic as you were when you came on this program 2 years ago. Do you still hold that optimism in your heart?
I remain an eternal optimist. But whenever I say this on social media, a lot of my friends and, a couple of people say, oh, Dipo, but you are in the UK. Why not come to Nigeria? Come and tweet from Nigeria. I'll say this from Nigeria. I don't live in Nigeria, but I'm also invested in the country. Some of my siblings live there. My parents live there. I have businesses in Nigeria. I pay salaries of around 40 people on a monthly basis. I pay taxes to the government on a monthly basis. So, when I say I am optimistic about the country, it is not me, sitting on a fancy chair in London and sipping my wine or my glass of champagne. I indeed am very optimistic about Nigeria. And I do hope that one day we would get it right. I do sincerely hope that one day we would have, more visionary leaders. We would have leaders who put the entire country above their tribe or above their religion. I do hope that one day we would have regional governments who are sincere and, really concerned about the progress and development of their regions.
Well, on that note of optimism, we're hoping that our viewers will light a candle from your optimism as well. We have to thank you for coming on Hard Copy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maope, for having me.
Well, that's the program tonight. Questions, comments are welcome to the handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I'm Maope Ogun Yusuf. Good night.